On today's Crowley Connect, I have the honor and privilege of welcoming a leader, a visionary, as well as a legend and an advocate for all Wisconsinites, a woman who sets a national tone on the most pressing issues. And how I describe this person may seem like accolades, but let's be clear, all of what I just said is a fact. And so I'm proud to call her not only a friend, one who I work closely with, yet still I look up to. And it is my honor to introduce and welcome our United States Senator, Tammy Baldwin.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. County Executive. It's great to
Thank you.
join you on Crowley Connects. This is so fun, and thank you for your kind words.
Oh, absolutely. So, Senator Baldwin, I first want to, thank you for really taking the time to talk and share. And I'm certainly all of our Milwaukee County residents want to hear from you, the work happening in Washington and how it directly affects them. And in December, you, along with Congresswoman Moore, helped to secure millions in congressional direct spending for Milwaukee County projects that will enhance public safety, housing access, and transportation. And these funds were part of the bipartisan Omnibus Appropriation Act for fiscal year 2023. Can you speak to the act, the process, and its impact, not just on Milwaukee County, because I think folks may want to understand the impact
Yeah,
across the state.
yeah. So let me just start with the whole idea of congressionally directed spending. It used to be called earmarks. I like to call them either community inspired projects or community initiated projects, because the idea is that it's not Congresswoman Moore and I sitting in Washington D.C. Picking these things out. These are the things we hear from our communities as we travel our districts. For me, traveling the state of Wisconsin, that are significant needs that have really been vetted and are really a result of community input. And so I just love working with Congresswoman Moore on making sure that these get attention when it comes to our federal funding bills. Um, on the Senate side, I actually sit on the committee that puts the bill together, the Senate Appropriations Committee. And it is such an honor to be able to partner with local communities, in some cases nonprofits, to do good work. And so we have a lot to celebrate for Milwaukee County. And let me start with the $5 million for some home rehabilitation.
Mhm.
We know that there are parts of the county where there's way too many boarded up homes, where there's uh, uh, you know uh, the bank owned properties. And we also know that there's a desperate need for affordable housing. And just to see a win-win situation emerge, to be able to use some of these resources to address the issue of blighted conditions, but also to be able to create new, safe, and affordable opportunities is really great. And then I moving on. You're talking about public safety and public health and well-being. I was so pleased to work with you and your leadership team, but again with Congresswoman Moore, to secure funding for substance abuse disorder services. But this is really targeting underserved communities through a mobile unit. And that's what this investment is going to be for, to really be able to not only engage in prevention activities by being out and where, meeting people where they are, but also we know with opioid overuse and too many cases accidental poisoning because somebody doesn't know that something that they're taking might be laced with fentanyl, which is a killer. I mean, it's so many more times more powerful than heroin, and that's uh, very powerful to begin with. But there are both now medical assisted treatment, so ways to help people overcome their addiction, and in the circumstance of overdose, there are now overdose reversal drugs that work if the overdose is caused by an opioid, known as Narcan or naloxone. This really restarts breathing and the heart beating. And Milwaukee County saw a record number of overdose deaths last year. I mean, 450, I think, or more. We know we need to do more, and this is one partnership uh, that is it's going to save lives. There's no question about it. It's going to
Absolutely.
save lives.
Absolutely. And as everybody can tell, as I said before, there's no greater advocate for Milwaukee County in all of Wisconsin. When you think about Senator Baldwin, we truly appreciate you and know that you're doing everything that you can to help bring home a resource that's going to have some of the greatest impact on the lives of all of our residents. Now on the topic of housing in Milwaukee County, we recognize that housing stability is critical to dozens of quality of life measures, and that
Yes.
includes like employment and early childhood development, stress levels, education, so on and so forth. And as someone, personally, me, having experienced housing insecurity, I know the toll that stress can take on someone's physical and mental health. So I truly want to say thank you for that advocacy and all that you're doing. We truly appreciate it. And I know that you were recently in Milwaukee County helping to open up a new minority business development agency, extremely important. And it was part of the infrastructure bill that was passed less than 2 years ago. Can you share a little bit about that event and its connection to the infrastructure bill?
Sure. Well, let me start with where that journey began, which was we have had minority business development, an agency that has never been authorized in law. I mean, it's not that it's an illegal agency; it's just there's never been a law making that a permanent part of the Department of Commerce, and so therefore, there wasn't an undersecretary of commerce who was at the table when the executive team or leadership team of that department meets, et cetera. And so it seems so appropriate to me when we were working on the bipartisan infrastructure law to make sure that that changed and that we put into law the Minority Business Development Office and Agency. That passed. There's now a Senate confirmed undersecretary in charge of this agency. And we also upped the budget, which was really critical to have greater reach, to assist with entrepreneurship, to help now that we're deploying literally, millions upon millions of dollars to improve our infrastructure, whether it's replacing, you know, lead water pipes, or whether it's building roads, fixing potholes, securing bridges, all the things we're doing with this. It's great to provide opportunities for minority-led, minority-owned businesses to be a huge part of that. And so we upped the budget to extend the reach. And then the undersecretary will tell you that I was a broken record whenever he was before the committee saying, Wisconsin doesn't have one. We have to rely on the nearest centers are in Chicago and Detroit.
Mm.
We really have just a wonderful sort of ecosystem that has all the right elements, but we need the Minority Business Development Center to sort of provide that guidance, that opportunity. And so anyways, we celebrated last month the ribbon cutting for the new center.
Yes.
They have contracted with a very expert and longstanding agency that does some very specific business development for the federal supply chain. But this, of course,
Okay.
broadens the reach. And minority businesses have, it's about access. It's about access to
Okay.
capital. It's about access to mentoring. It's about access to expertise for building business plans, or sometimes it's about the next step. You're a well-established business with 3 employees, but you see yourself someday having 10 or 20. And before the ribbon cutting, we toured a building site, which was right at that moment. They were putting in all the electrical, and Hurt Electric was the contractor. Mr. Hurt was there to tell us all about his small business and what his challenges are. But I think he had hired 2 people who joined the team that day for their first day, and now is up to 49
Wow.
employees. That's pretty
Wow.
impressive.
Yeah.
And but yet he was really, really helpful in talking about, where over time there has been an unlevel playing field, or how do you bid some of the government jobs that require a lot more paperwork and red tape to get the award. And boy, it was a great, great afternoon.
That's awesome. And it's really about building the capacity of many of these small businesses. And even when I think about right here in Milwaukee County, our vision is that by achieving racial equity, we can become the healthiest county. And this is a tool, another tool. So I truly want to say thank you. And I know we can continue. I can have you on for a long time, and I know we can go back and forth. I love the work, but one thing, Senator Baldwin, I do is I close every Crowley Connect asking our guests about their favorite thing about Milwaukee County. But if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you 2 questions.
Okay.
And I'm going to put myself in it as well. And so the first question is, of course, what is your favorite thing about Milwaukee County? And the second, what makes Wisconsin the greatest state in America? And what I will do is I will make sure, as a tribute to your hometown of Madison, I'll share my favorite thing about our great capital city.
Okay. Well, I have to say one of my favorite, I mean, there's so many. Don't get me wrong. This is not an easy question to answer. But in terms of Milwaukee County, you have an amazing park system. And, being able to be outdoors, to recreate, to feel safe, to enjoy the shoreline oh my
Yes.
gosh. So I have to say kudos to your leadership and the Milwaukee County Park System. It's
Oh,
one of my
thank
favorites.
you. Thank you. And what makes us the greatest state?
I would say two things, which but I think of them so closely together. It's our work ethic as Wisconsinites and our water resources.
Yes.
And we're blessed with an East Coast, a North Coast, and frankly, the mighty Mississippi is our West Coast, and all these inland waters. These are things we cherish and we identify with, but they're also things we have to protect. But it is yeah, it makes. In fact, I don't know if you can tell, but the picture behind me is a map of Lake Superior. I love the water.
Nice.
It's even here.
Nice. Well, truly appreciate that. Truly appreciate that. And I love our parks too. Everybody loves their favorite neighborhood parks. So I want to say thank you for that. And for those reasons, I'm really proud not only to call Milwaukee County my home, but Wisconsin my home. And so to answer the question related to Madison for me,
Yes.
I mean, I love everything that you all got going on. You can talk about, the amount that the beautiful spaces out there, like when you're on the isthmus, being able to look at the different lakes, and you think about the university. But I just have to say, I absolutely love State Street. I mean, whether it's spring, summer, the holiday season, whenever, I love to take a stroll to or from the Capitol. And when you think about the numerous amount of shops, restaurants, and mom and pop shops, small businesses that you can support, I mean, it's absolutely wonderful. Plus, you can actually get a great view of the state capitol on State Street, and so I
Yeah.
think it's extremely important for us. And so, with that, I just want to say, Senator Baldwin, thank you so much for joining me today on the Crowley Connect. You don't know how much we appreciate not just your work, but the vision that you also bring to the United States Senate. This has definitely been a pleasure, and I want to say thank you to all of our viewers for joining us on this episode of Crowley Connect. See you next time. Thank you.